Well, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday night, folks. Glad to have you here. Hey, those of you who are in here early, roll up to the top of the scroll bar. Let's see if I can see it. Can you see it? There's a link I posted there. Copy that link down if you want to come onto the show and talk. And we'll call you in the right time, but you can line up. And Master Finn, if you see it there, could you grab that link up top? Hey, Leslie, thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, folks, I need every one of you to listen to this. I don't know why I said that, but listen to this. Welcome to the Intrepid radio program. It's Wednesday night. This is the Intrepid radio program that normally broadcasts over on Odyssey Radio Network. That's ODYSY1.com. That's a super chat, Captain? I don't know what a super chat is. Maybe I've got to do it again. My internet is completely down here, so I can't do anything other than operate the show here right now. So sorry about that, folks. But go on over to Odyssey Radio, ODYSY1.com. You can hear archives that they're playing of all these shows that we've done over the last almost 2 years. And so there's over 500 shows archived there. They're playing it several times during the day. So go on over and see what's playing. And if you're looking for something to listen to during the day, that's the place to do it, over there at Odyssey Radio. And of course, you're joining me here on my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Mr. Scotty Roberts. So come on over to, if you're listening to this in archive, you can come on over to my YouTube channel. And those of you who are here, if you don't know this already, you can go into the main page down here and over at my YouTube channel, and you can see all the archives of this show and a bunch of other stuff that we have going there. And so I want to thank you all for coming here tonight. Thanks for viewing the live stream. My internet has totally pooped out. So over on the computer. So again, I'm on the phone, and you're going to see my hand come up with my stylus to try to do some stuff on here. You see, I can just hit buttons, and look, I've got Doug Stack. Let's bring Doug in right away. How about that? Add to the stream. Hey, Doug Stack, how you doing?
How's it going?
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you.
Let's
How
see
you
if we
doing?
can make this work the right way. Layout and grab that. It doesn't all stay the same from night to night. So there's Doug in front of his fire. How you doing, Doug?
Pretty good. How are you?
I am not hearing you. I don't know if that's my end or your end. Let me just see what's going on. Hold on, folks. Got to pick up the Makeshift studio, which is my phone tonight, and maybe my. Oh, I hear something. It's a plug-in. Okay, Doug.
Can you hear me now?
Can't hear anything. Well, I'll see you later. I can't hear you right now. I can't hear. I can't hear. Oh, you can't. Oops. I can't hear a word you're saying, but I'm trying to read lips, but I can't read lips. I'm not. I guess I'd be bad as a deaf person. Nope. Not.
Did I screw everything up?
Okay. Can you hear?
I can hear you a little bit now, or not anymore. No, I heard you for a half a second. Let me see. I was able to lip read that. Method. I screwed everything up, didn't I? Oh, just me now? That's kind of scary.
Oh. All right. Can you hear me now? Hear me?
I can hear you very low.
Okay. Can anybody hear me? Nobody can hear me. It says my mic is on. So I don't know what to tell you.
I screwed everything up.
Nah, you didn't do anything. Broadcast info, settings, general, shift videos, blah 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 blah. Audio. Automatically adjust mic volume. Maybe that's it. Let's try this. I'm going to turn up my mic. Can you hear me now?
I can
Can
hear
anybody hear me? You can hear me now.
I don't do that. I'm scared. I think he just
There. Now it should be working.
Okay, I could hear you.
Can you hear me? Can people in the chat room hear me? Ay, 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 ay. You know how it is with me. I hate this kind of stuff. This is the stuff that drives me insane. So it's not supposed to do this. It's supposed to be good from the moment I hit go live. So how you doing, Doug?
I was gonna bring my laptop for you tomorrow to use.
Yeah.
But my wife hijacked it and went to Arkansas with it.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's okay. I got my phone. I got a nice little laptop here. Here, let me show you something, folks. Take a look at this. Pardon my fingers. If I turn this around and show you, what does that say? So none of my stuff works right here. There's our internet. I hit connect. It tries to connect, and guess what? It doesn't.
Well,
So that's the problem we're having over here.
The good thing with my new laptops, the thing with my laptop is I can put a hotspot on my phone.
Yeah.
And it can run off of the phone's internet.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was the reason I wanted the laptop.
My phone company doesn't allow me to tether to my phone with my laptop. I had to buy the box, so I bought the box. Guess what? We bought a $50 card that was supposed to. It's at a 2-month card, $50. So I bought that card. We watched 2 movies the first weekend we had it, and I broadcast the Sunday show. And after that, there was nothing left on the box. So I have to go buy another $50 card. So there you go, guys.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. So I haven't used it since that. So I'm finding my phone actually works if I don't have problems, and I leave it just sitting there. We're usually pretty good. So I want to say hi to folks. I see field guys over there. The more tabs up, the harder it works to not connect. That's right. Let's see. Beth Kirkham, me 3, Steph and Barb. My tabs refresh after a minute sometimes, says Field Guy. We also got Barbie D. Good to see you. And Steve Clark. Good. I'm glad I'm loud and clear now. Leslie Holker. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. I saw that super chat thing come up.
Hi, Leslie. Hi, Beth. Hi, everybody.
Doug saying hey to you all.
Hey, y'all.
So, and Beth Kirkham, I said hello to. Roger Rabbit. Boom, boom, boom. And this is a necessary evil right now, folks. I've got to navigate this thing somehow. So I won't do much of this, but there. I just wanted to see if I missed anybody. We got our nice little core group going on here. Oh, who did I clicked on Baroness. Let's turn that off. There's Leslie. See, look, I can even put your I'm looking for the link I put up here to see if I can put that up. You were ignoring us, said Steph. Oh, there it is. I saw it.
That's a
I can't
nice
find
looking
it.
fire, huh?
Yeah. I can't find that post to turn it off. So you got to click on the post you clicked on to put it up. And now I can't find it. So hold on. That's from Field Guy. When did Field Guy say that? My tabs, he said.
He said that at 6 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, probably. Field Guy. I napped earlier. Field Guy. My tabs. There it is. Boom. It's gone now. All right, folks. How's this for dramatic, scintillating live broadcasting? There it is. It's all I got. I'm going to go tab down to see new comments. There we go. Baroness says that's supposed to be Steph's name. Oh, okay. There you go. People just talking over there. Matt Finn threw up the, if anybody wants to come on, hopefully we've got all the little kinks worked out tonight. For some reason, why are the kinks that weren't there last night here tonight? I don't know. So Doug isn't kneeling in prayer to the porcelain god today. Poor plumbing. It had to take a beating yesterday. That's from Roger Rabbit.
I slept for about 16 hours yesterday.
Oh man, you had something going on.
Oh yeah, but at least today I've been awake and out of the bathroom.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing. You know, we had all that hot, humid, muggy weather here yesterday in Louisiana, and today, stepped outside today, it was cold. Cold wind, and then of course we got the thunderstorms roll through. So, and then you're out by your fire with a stocking cap on. So,
Tonight
anyway,
it's supposed to get down to about 39, which
39 degrees.
For the most of the country, that's kind of normal. Not for us though.
Yeah, yeah. So I have heard. And so, Doug, share something with us. If you don't have anything to share, maybe I'll just let you go, and we'll let some other people line up if they want to come in and talk. So,
well, it's not my show, so anybody else who wants to call in.
Well, I'm glad you called in, though. It is your show. I'm just the host. It's your show. So
I always appreciate you bringing me on.
Well, Doug, I appreciate your coming on and being here. All right, so I'm gonna send you bye now. Look at that with my little stylus. Let's see, Doug Stack. Well, oh, you're gone. There you go. All right, folks, if you want to talk on the show tonight, you are welcome to. Just line up. Sorry for the little technical glitches. It's just part of what's going on these days. I'm all about technical glitches because why? We're here in the Makeshift studio, down here in my makeshift life in Louisiana. And so I want to thank all of you for coming on. If you want to call into the show, you can. We'll bring you on camera. So if you want to come on, you know, maybe, did I see Rock and Rhonda in here? No, I didn't. I was thinking of her costumes. Maybe she could come on in costume. Steve Clark says, ouch, my eyes again. Let's see. Howdy, everybody. Ryan Gale, I could call in, but I already put on my PJs. Hey, that's all right, Ryan. Come on in your PJs. That's fine. Nobody cares here. Does anybody care that Ryan's in his PJs? Amanda B says, much love from Australia. Hope you're all well, smiling. So far, so good. We're all smiling. And I've got to tell you a little story about something that happened today. And I wish I had Rainey on for this one. I would save it for Sunday, but that's 4 days away. I want to tell you now. So somebody called Child Protective Services on us. So I get a call from Rainey late this morning, mid-morning, and she's in the bathtub, and she's getting up out of the bathtub, and she said, just had a knock on the door. The kids said it was CPS. So I got to get out of the tub and go talk to them. And I said, I'll hang on if you want me to. And I said, I'd definitely like to be part of the call. And so she got dressed and she flashed me first, though. I just got to tell you that. That's great. She goes, here, Pop. She goes, now I got to do serious stuff. And at least she was in a good mood about it. And so she took the phone out to the door, and no, I can't remember if she did that or if she called me right back. But they're all standing outside on the front patio, and they're all wearing their masks, of course. And they said that there had been a report, and an incident, and they'd like to talk to us about it. And I said, okay. And I'm on the phone, and I'm in the truck. Sam's driving, and so. She starts talking, and apparently somebody, hey, Texas Joe, how you doing? Austin here. How's the chat? Looks lots of familiar names. Hey, welcome, Joe. Appreciate having you here. So she's okay, Amanda B, but we went through that. Which neighbor did this? I'm 8 hours away. I'm ready to bust some heads. Quietly make this person disappear, says Roger Rabbit. So as it goes on, they're talking about, they start asking us if we beat our children, how we treat them. And it was fair questions, you know. I've got this basic philosophical problem with CPS, but I also have to respect the reason they exist, because there are people that do bad things. And I understand the protocols they have. So they're there. And I think it was just one person. And Rainey didn't want to at first let her in. She said, I'm not hiding anything other than my house is a disaster. And she walked me in first and was kind of showing me around. I said, who cares, Rainey? It's not that big a deal. It's not that bad. And so she let them in. And she started questioning us. She talked to me first, and she just questioned me, you know, my date of birth, my, you know, where I grew up, stuff like that. And I was as talkative to her as I am on this show. So you know by now how I talk. And so I went ahead and I talked, and I said something like, there was one point where she was asking Rainey, do you ever hit the kids or thwack them or grab their faces or spank them? And Rainey said, well, there's sometimes when I'm talking on the phone and the kids jump on me, I push them off. And she said, I don't really care where they land. She said, I'm not pushing them into danger. I'm just pushing them off, usually onto the sofa. Hey, mom's on the phone. Stop. And I said, oh, Rainey, I said, don't lie to her. We always push them onto the bed of nails that we keep tucked under the coffee table. That's just for those occasions. And the CPS woman didn't laugh. And I said, you do know I'm kidding. I said, do you know why I'm making light of some of these things? I said, I know it's a serious matter. I said, but I'm making light of it because I said, we are about as normal a pair of parents and a family as you can get. I said, is there yelling and screaming sometimes? Hell yes. I said, I'll look at my son. And I said, sometimes I point my finger in his face. I say, knock that shit off. You respect your mom. You talk to your mom with a little bit of respect and honor. Try it again, son, after you've apologized. And so I said, we do that. She said, do you ever hit him or thump him on the back of the head? And I said, where are you getting this information? And she said, I can't tell you. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. I said, well, I'll answer your question. I said, I'll answer it this way. I said, I hope someday when my son is 40 to 50 years old and he's sitting in the bar having a couple of brews, throwing back a couple with his buddies, that they tell fun stories of the long arm of me, his dad, who could reach over when he was smart-ass talking to his mom, and I whack him on the head like that, and I go, knock it off. And yeah, they had to tour the house, by the way. Yes, they did, Ryan. They did see my collection of swords all over my wall. And nobody said anything about that, of course. And Rainey is already starting to pack things up because at the end of August, we've got to move out of that place because they're selling it. And I'm not buying it. So it's too expensive. And I don't know where these people get off charging the rent they charge in small town rural Wisconsin, and where they get off asking for the kind of money they're asking. Now, $230, about $230,000 is about an average price for a house. But when they're putting that price on a side-by-side townhome with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, but you still got a neighbor on the other side of the wall, that's a little exorbitant, if you ask me. Hey, Sarah Nichols Media, how you doing? And so, yeah, my dad would whack me upside the head when I was a smartass. I told her, I said, I said, my mom, who was not an abusive person, my mom broke a broomstick on me once. I said, but I was like 14. And I said, we kind of laughed it off and go, oh, Mom, don't try to spank us. And so we had a good sense of humor about it. My mom was pissed at us, but anyway. So as this meeting went on, they're asking me everything. And do you ever hit your kids? I said, define hitting. I said, do you mean? I said, I know what your language is all about, and the cliche words that you have to use. And I was not hostile, by the way. I was being lighthearted with her, and I was being very personable and very professional. And I said, I understand what some of the call words are. I said, hitting my kids? I said, no, not the way you might be intending to ask that. I said, I'm going to assume that you mean hitting my kids in violence. I said, no, that doesn't happen. I said, have I ever thwacked my kid upside the head? I said, not with my fist, not with my full bare hand. I don't slap him. I tap him. And I demonstrated for him. I said, I'll knock him on the head like that. And I go, hey. I said, it's an attention getter. And I said, it never leaves a mark or anything like that. Then they went on and they asked all that stuff. Texas Joe, I come from an Italian family. After Dad was done, Grandpa and the uncles would get after me too. There it is. And so I said, I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. And I said, back before spanking was a bad thing. I said, I'll tell you right now, I've spanked my kids. And I said, sometimes if they need it, I'll spank them again. I said, but spankings are usually a barehanded swat on the butt. So I said, sometimes it's as they're walking by. I said, go up to your room and get that thing done I told you to. They walk by and I swat them on the butt. And they'll look at me, what was that for? I said, that was for sassing. And so I told all this to her. And of course, there was lots of other conversation going on in there. There's a difference between spanking to get their attention and abuse. Huge, huge difference. I also told her, I don't believe that spanking works after 5 or 6 years old anyway. I said, you don't spank your kids if there's other means. Well, what are some of the other means for discipline? And I went through them, things you guys all know about if you listen to Rainey and I on a Sunday morning. What do? We take away video games. We take away internet time. Rowan, my 9-year-old, likes to sit on the internet and talk with her friends. Especially now, they're on spring break. And so they all get on one of the computers in the office, and she sits and talks for hours. We take it away. And I said, Flynn likes to play his video games. He gets his video games taken away. We don't have to spank the 11-year-old. And so Steph says, well, I was beat by my mom, and if DSS came into our house, she would probably have beat them down too, and would ask, who you gonna call now? Originally from New York City, Texas Joe, very Italian family, as Italian as you can get, imagine, but moved to Texas when I was 19 to go to Utah. And so, I answered her questions very fairly, very matter of factly. I said, I'm not bothered by this at all. I said, as a matter of fact, this doesn't worry me in the least that you have to do. I said, but here's what happened. When I finally asked, I said, okay, now that we're done, I said, I've got to ask you. I said, I know what you're going to tell me already, but I said, who called you to send you to me? To send you to our family? Well, I can't tell you that. And I said, was it somebody at school? Was it a teacher? And she said, I really can't say. I said, now, I'm going to tell you something. I said, I don't appreciate that. I said, I respect what you have to do. And I respect that there are bad people out there that abuse their kids and that you are the ones that help take care of that. I said, but at the same time, if you're going to come and ask me all kinds of probing questions, want to see my house, want to check out my kids, and if I refuse to do that, I'm sure there's a check mark put after our name. I said, I do all of that, and yet I'm being told that somebody is making an accusation, yet in a system of jurisprudence where when we have to go to court, you get to face your accusers. I said, but in this case, since it's not court, I said, I don't get to face who that person is. I said, I have a problem with that. And I said, I just want you to know that. So, let's see, what else we got? So that kept going on. Then they wanted to interview all of our kids. And I said, well, I'd like to be here on the phone. And it was just like this. This is how she saw me without all the radio logo stuff. She saw me on my webcam and on my phone because I was in the truck. And so we talked. I answered all her questions. She asked Rainey the same questions. Then she wanted to call all the kids down one by one and interview them. And so questions they asked them. And she said, I got to ask them about how they eat and the food. But there in the kitchen, we got one of those big metal, chrome, shiny metal shelves. It's like a garage workshop shelving, the metal shelving, with all the, what do you call it? The wired shelves. So real heavy duty. And, but it's full. It's like the pantry. And then the pantry was standing open. So there's all kinds of canned foods, all kinds of boxed foods, all kinds of foods all up and down this big shelf that's 7 feet tall. And she said, I guess you got food. But then when she was talking to each one of the kids, she asked them about food. She said, do you ever miss a meal? I said, no. Do you ever go hungry? No. And she said, I can see by the pantry there's lots of food. She goes, yeah. Oh, on the miss a meal, she said, Rowan's very talkative. Well, sometimes we go whole days without mom making a single meal. And she goes, really? And she goes, yeah. She just says, look, guys, there's all kinds of food out. I'm not cooking today. I got to go do a massage. Babysitter's going to be here. You guys can pick anything you want. She said, sometimes we make macaroni and cheese on our own. Sometimes we cook eggs, when mom's got to go do a massage or something like that. And so she pretty much said we eat, kind of graze all day. And that's a term Rainey taught them, grazing. They graze all day. And so she says, no, we never go hungry. And then she asked, if you do something wrong, what kind, do you get punished? And it was, yeah. She said, yeah, we get punished. And all three of them said, yeah. And Flynn was like, well, mom takes my games away. It's like, indignantly, mom takes my games away. And I interjected from the phone. I said, as she should. I said, maybe, son, when you do your chores the way your mom tells you, and you help out a little bit, you're going to get a lot of those privileges back. And it goes from day to day to day. And so then Ellery was cute, listening to her little pixie voice, my 6-year-old. And, do you ever get punished? And at least she didn't do leading questions. So, do you ever get spanked? And she didn't ask them that. She said, when you do something wrong, what happens? Well, she says, I get yelled at sometimes, and then I got to go to my room and clean my room, or I got to, wash a dish, whatever. And she brings it on. So nothing that was said to this woman from my kids had anything to do with anything that sounded abusive. And that's where, when we finally got back on, I said, that is as normal gets. We got a normal family. Well, then she started asking me how we deal with stress. And Ellery the Spitfire, that's right, Leslie. Looks like a boat window. That's a camper window. I'm in a camper, Amanda B. And so I don't think Rainey would mind one bit. I'm not sure what I missed there, Matt Finn. What was I saying? She asked us at the end, what was it she was asking us? Oh, and I lost my train of thought on it. But anyway, I said something when I came up close, and I can't remember what she asked and what I said now. What the heck was I talking about, guys? I'm unscripted. So, it's a camper window with a piece of black board up on it. So it doesn't show you all the outside lights and stuff like that, or reflections of the computer screen on it. So Texas Joe, my eldest, once said he was going to call CPS on me. I was like, oh, they come take you out of the house and put you in a big room where you sleep with about 50 people and you eat bologna sandwiches. How fun is that? Bet he never threatened to do that again. So anyway, I can't remember what I was saying about what she said toward the end. And, stress. She asked how we dealt with stress. And I said, we just talked about that on my radio show last night. And I said, we talked about the things that you do to stay positive when things aren't going your way, when things are stressful. I said, we tell our kids all the same thing. We tell them to smile. We tell them to treat each other fairly. And all those things I went through last night. I said, I tell my wife this stuff sometimes. Rainey says, yeah, he does. So I tend to be a much more positive person than my wife does some days. She can get a little bogged down. And you never tried that again, Texas Joe, I'll bet. Keep laughing, tell Rainey. That's what I try to tell her, Amanda. There's times this stuff she gets a little overwhelmed. But she's not a wallflower either. You've all seen her. You know what she's like. She doesn't shrink at shit. But she does sometimes get overrun with being a little anxious about things. I can guide you to the water can, but I can't make you drink. There you go. Matt, I do too. I'm thinking of one in particular. She was horrible with the responses, says Leslie Holker. Leslie, I totally agree with your comment, says Steve Clark. So, seriously, whoever made the call is wasting valuable resources, just like a false police report. I agree. And I have a feeling it's something like this. Rainey and I discussed this. There was something about Rowan. What happened with Rowan? Rainey said something to the effect of, I grabbed her cheeks one morning before we were going to school and said, don't you ever sass me like that again. And so Rowan may have said something to somebody, and the teacher took her aside and asked her about it. And I'm pretty sure, so does your mom grab your face? Well, sometimes. And so now, by the way, that's abuse now. I've on one or two occasions grabbed my son's face. And he Flynn, as sweet a boy as he is, my son can be a caustic, nasty, pubescent male. Yes, he's pubescent. His voice is changing, and he's in that stage now. He's almost 12 years old, and I one morning, afternoon, whenever, I took his face like that, and I said, "You look at me." He was looking at me all wide-eyed. No, not squeezing so like crack his teeth or anything. I said, "Son, you listen to me." I said, "You look at me." I jerked his face toward me. I said, "I don't ever want to hear you sass me or your mom like that again." I said, "That is undignified. It is unbefitting." And I said, "Let me tell you something, son." I said, "Everything you have here, you get for free." I said, "Your mom and dad, your mom and I, we love you." I said, "We love you to have stuff." Now, we don't shower them with things. They get a lot of things. They get games and stuff like that. And we always take them over to the Goodwill in town, let them choose out toys for $2 or $3. And so they get lots of stuff. And I said, "You get a lot of stuff." I said, "You get to eat pretty much for free." I said, "You don't have to pay for your house." I said, "Your only job is to go to school, do the best you can." I said, "And to do the things mom and dad ask you to do, like, pick up your room." I said, "If I go up in your room right now, am I going to find a pile of clothes that 5 days ago I told you to put on your hangers?" Now, it's not that we don't see his room for 5 days. It's he takes them all, he shoves them in his closet and throws something over them, which seems to be more work and ingenuity involved in trying to hide the task than to actually do the task. So we have those kind of conversations. Yeah, kids are taught hell at school. You're right, Amanda. And so when it rains, it pours. When it rainies, it pours. Yeah, very true. Let's see. Yeah, Matt Finn said, "Brother Roger, love you, man. Your family inspires me." And I can't see any more of that. So anyway, so that's what happened today. We had a little, is it already 9:40? We had a little encounter with CPS. So when she was all done, Child Protective Services, she said, "Well, I'm going to be assigned to this case for 60 days, and which meant, and she said it somewhere along the way, she could pop in anytime she wants for a pop visit." Oh, she asked me about, "Do you live at home?" I said, "Not right now." And she said, "Do you travel a lot?" Meaning it was a leading question. Every question is a leading question. Meaning, are you not here? Are these kids neglected? Is your wife a single mom? And I said, I've been gone from home for 2 months. Almost just a few days. No, as of right now, 2 months. I said, I've been gone from home for 2 months. And I said, I'm down here working so we can build a house. Hopefully, better ourselves. I said, I talk most days to those kiddos, every day to my wife. When I talk to my wife sometimes, the kids aren't around. Or the kids are like, "Hi, Dad." Some of you see that on radio where Ellery says, "Oh, it was nice," right in front of the CPS woman. Ellie comes in the room and she goes, "Hi, Dad, I love you." So that was pretty cool. But so while I told this woman, I said, "Well, we're not perfect people." I said, "I think we're pretty darn good parents, and we do our best." I said, "Does it ever get out of hand?" I said, "Sometimes. There's yelling, there's screaming." Oh, another question she asked. This was very leading because apparently somebody either saw this happen in our home or told from within our home. She said, "Do you throw things at your children?" I said, "No." I said, "I throw them one-liners a lot." I said, I have in the living room, and I said it just like this. I said, if a kid leaves their muddy boots in the living room, they took them off, not at the door like they were supposed to, but wore them into the living room, and I have to actually bend over and pick them up, and I said, I see them in another part of the room or the house, I'll walk those boots over and I'll chuck them at them. I said, not at them. I'm not targeting a headshot at 24 feet across the room. I said, I chuck them at them so they land on the floor in front of them. They jump. And I'll say, those boots, you need to take those, clean them off, and go put them by the door. I said, now, if that's throwing things at my kids, then yeah, I throw things at my kids. I said, sometimes I throw pillows at my kids. I said, sometimes I throw my kids. I said, up in the air and on the bed. I said, but throwing things with intent to do damage or harm, I said, that doesn't happen. I said, my wife and I don't even do that. I said, in the early days of our marriage, my wife broke a couple of mugs, but not on me or at me. I said, she got mad at me and she walked over and went, whoop. Just like that. Tipped my mug on the floor and broke it. My favorite Star Trek mug. So, she goes, there. I said, do we throw things at each other and at the kids? No. Yeah, otherwise, why would she ask Scotty? It sounds to me like she had a whole lot of information before she even came to the house. That's exactly, I said that to her when I asked, who told you this stuff? I said, it sounds to me like somebody has either been in our home and says they've seen some of these things happen, or somebody has been told that something has happened. And I said, that's why I want to know, who is this? Is the babysitter next door? Is it my own kids? So my suspicion is that my daughter, Rowan, probably said something to a teacher because she was mad about something, having no idea of what the ramifications of saying something like, my mom grabbed my cheeks this morning. And you know what? That kind of stuff. There's no bruising, there's no marks, there's no scars. I told the CPS lady, I said, we throw things sometimes, but never to draw blood. And I laughed and I said, I am just kidding. I said, I hope when we were all done, I said, I hope you can tell by my attitude and by my wife's attitude, the way we've been talking. I said, I am completely not moved by any of this. I have because I got nothing to worry about. I said, my kids aren't mistreated and nobody mistreats anybody in this family. I said, I didn't say this. It crossed my mind to say it. I want to say, my wife doesn't give me enough sex, and she does that when she's mad at me. I'm mad at you. You're never touching this body again. And guys, have you ever had your wife or your girlfriend say that? You're never touching this body again. I'll be damned if you ever see me naked. I'm not having sex with you ever again. And I wanted to say that, but that I thought, I didn't think it was tasteless. I just thought it wouldn't work. I throw swords at the kids daily. They're quick. That's why they're still alive, says Doug Stack. Damn straight. I teach my kids how to move quickly. Think fast. So, pardon me. So that was our excitement with the government today. Local government, yes, but CPS. So, Leslie, if it was one of the children that called them, then they won't say for fear that the child would get more abuse. That's exactly it, Steve. And that's what I said to Rainey. I said it was probably Rowan on a bad day, wanting to complain about being, Rowan's already at 9 years old. You'd think she's 16. She's got the attitude of a angsty 16-year-old. I told you yesterday, I'll repeat it for those of you who weren't here. She called me on the video camera, on the phone, the other day and said, Dad, Mom won't let me shave the side of my hair. I want to shave the side. She said, if you said yes, I could do it, please. And what she means is, one of those hairstyles where it's all swooped over and long here. This side's all shaved. And I said, no, you can't. Why not? And then I hear her, she stomps off and she goes, I hate this family. You never let me do anything. That sound typical to any of you? Have any of you heard that from a kid before? I hate you. You don't ever let me do anything. So, yeah, we don't. I told her we don't. You're right. We don't let you do anything. I said, there are some things that you can save for when you're 18 or 19 and out on your own. I said, if you want to shave the side of your head 10 years from now, I said, go right ahead. I might look at you and go, what'd you do to your hair? Because I'm a dad and I can do that. So you had a wrench thrown at you once, field guy. By who? Was it by a guy or a woman or a coworker? Yeah, the hair will grow back. It'll grow back. But I've already let her get haircuts. She had long hair, kind of like Rainey's, not quite as long, but she wanted a short haircut, Dad. I'm like, we can get it cut shorter. She got one of those little, the wedge cuts where it comes down really long in the front and it kind of wedges back toward the back. And she loved it. But 3 days later, she's like, my hair's too short. And I said, you just cut it all off. So, anyway, I was looking at some of the comments there. Never in my life have I heard that, said Doug Stack. Yeah, really. And I'll pull this leg and it plays Jingle Bells. Roger says, Texas Joe. That's the case here in Indiana. I think it's a majority of the states. Steve Clark, Texas, yes, teachers are required to report. Yeah, a teacher is required. And I'm okay with that. What if there is a kid that's being abused at home? And the first level of contact is their teachers. That was another question she asked all three of the kids. If you were ever in trouble or had some problems, do you have any adults that you can talk to? Who would you talk to? And all of the kids said almost the same thing. And they weren't in the room together, but they all said, well, Grandma, probably Dad. I talked to Dad. That's not the answer they wanted to hear. I talked to Mom. I talked to my teacher. Maybe a policeman, a fireman, an astronaut. So all of those kinds of answers came out. And so Rainey and I did talk afterwards. And we said, it does sound like probably Rowan. She kind of fits the bill. Because she's like, I just hate this family. And because you won't let me shave the side of my head. I just hate this family because you won't let me get on TikTok. I hate this family because you won't let me get my own YouTube page, which she has now, by the way, but it's very governed by Mom and Dad. And she throws up a couple little videos, but we got restrictions put on it. I just hate this family because you won't let me have my own phone with all my blah, 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 blah. And they all share a phone right now, so they can get on and play games and stuff. But we also have that rather limited and locked up on them. They can get on my computer. There are some things they watch on YouTube. There's been a rule imposed in our house more than once, which means it doesn't get adhered to. Your kids? YouTube. It came down, Rainey was the first to say it, and I seconded it very quickly. Rainey said, that's it. What are you watching? What are you watching? I'm on YouTube. I'm watching the something brothers. And, it's one of these dumb college-age kids, just trying to make a ton of money on the internet by doing stupid shit on the internet and putting it on their Instagram and playing practical jokes and doing things. We're in the what was the show? Dumbass? Oh, what was that called? Jackass. It's like the Jackass movies. Kids trying to do all that stuff. Now, my kids are really into watching. Well, Rowan is. And it's like, no, you can't watch that. Why, Dad? I said, because those guys are dumbasses. That's why. And I said, I don't want you picking up dumbassery from dumbasses on YouTube. And so Rennie said, you can't watch YouTube. YouTube is off limits. Here's what you can watch. And yeah, it's the entirety of today's youth, Matt Finn. I have to agree with you. I got them all, said Field Guy. You're talking about Jackass? Yeah. And I got to tell you, even some of the things they do on Jackass, I look at it. I'm a pretty open-minded guy. But I look at some of that stuff and I go, what the flying? And I'm like, geez. So, you know, if it makes some money, I suppose it's fine. I haven't heard of any deaths from kids trying to replicate things they see on Jackass. And some of it's pretty funny practical joke stuff. But yeah, the movies, they're making a fourth one now. Oh, really? Knoxville, welcome to Jackass. Johnny Knoxville, yep. What was he in that I saw him in? He was pretty good in a couple of movies I saw him. Let's see. Leslie Hooker, Matt agreed. So we tell our daughter Rowan, you can't watch that. You're not allowed to watch it. And I said, if I find you watching that, I will restrict you from the internet for a week. That's so harsh. I said, yeah, it's meant to be harsh. I said, there's a solution to that harshness. You'll never, ever, ever have to see that harshness. You know how you do that? She goes, not watch the show you told me not to watch. I said, bingo! I said, it's that easy. And somebody else said something about one of the kids. I don't like the way mom yells about stuff. And I'm like, hey, you know, that's totally 100% preventable. I said, it's like pregnancy. I said, you know how you can prevent pregnancy? And they're like, Dad. I said, you know that I know you know what I'm talking about. I said, you know how you prevent pregnancy? 100%. You don't have sex. I said, same thing. How you prevent your mom from yelling at you? Don't piss her off. Don't yell at her. Respect your mom. Boom. It's that easy. So many things, so many punishments are consequences or punishments are totally avoidable if you don't do the things that those are consequences for. So do it in the butt, Brent. Thank you, Scott Allen. That was a little off-colored. I like to joke, but talking about anal sex is not. I suppose if you're all into it, you can talk about it all you want. I will say, Rainey told me at the very beginning of our relationship, that's not something I do. I said, I wasn't asking. She goes, I'm just putting the record straight right out there now. Anything else you want to do that? You can do that, but not that. I'm like, you got it. It does make sense, Beth Kirkham. And it's the same thing for even us adults. How do we not get a speeding ticket? You don't speed. Now, I'm not a fuddy-duddy. I speed plenty. But you know what I've gotten in the habit of doing in the last 10 years? If I'm going somewhere, I just put it on cruise. I don't care if I'm in a side busy street. You know, it's 45 miles an hour. I put it on cruise. You know why? I don't want a cop to ever pull me over. I clocked you doing 55 and a 45. No, you didn't. You know why I know that? My cruise was set. So, yeah, it was a little brown colored. Thank you, Doug Stack. Yeah, I'm a prude. All right. And so, that's how we deal with our kids. How do you deal with your kids? How do you deal with that stuff? Has anybody here ever been called on by CPS to see how your home is going? That teacher, and I'm assuming, I'm just going off a bold, brash assumption here, that my daughter said something to her teacher, and her teacher took it to the 10th degree and called CPS. It's like, you know, next time I go in for a family conference, I don't know if that's what happened, but I'll go in for a family conference at school. Teacher conferences. You wonder if they look at you like, well, that's the family I had to call CPS on. They abused their kids. It's like my friend who got accused of rape, and he did not do it. Now, was I there to witness that he didn't do it? No. But everything else about that story, about his character, his integrity, his wife, everything about them screamed no. But he still had to go through the process. And they finally, it got all dismissed because the young woman who accused him, oh, she couldn't travel to the next state over because, oh, COVID, I'm afraid of COVID. It's like B is in B, S is in S. You just got caught lying, and you couldn't lie your way to the bitter end. So, being falsely accused of rape, it's ruined my friend's career, his life, practically. That happened 3 years ago. He was doing writing books, very astutely writing business books and things like that. He was written up in the local newspaper, and that sounds like small town. We're talking Minneapolis, St. Paul. Millions of people on subscribers. He was written up in the newspaper for his business books, and he was the creative director at the Renaissance Festival. He's a photographer. He did voiceover talent. If any of you remember the old Intrepid radio program with John Ward in me, he did the opening to that show. You'd have the music going on, and he'd say, Intrepid Radio with Scotty Roberts, with a haphazardly focused Scotty Roberts, and I can't remember what he called John Ward, and the camel riding something, Dr. John Ward. And he said, broadcasting to you live from a hidden cornfield somewhere in Wisconsin, and a godforsaken holy of holies in some lost, forgotten temple deep in the Theban mountains. He'd do all those voiceovers for us. Commercial breaks. Some of you might remember these. He'd say things like, I'm trying to think of the one he did, the two-humped camel one. Some of you might remember that one. Listening to the show is like riding a two-humped camel. It was John Ward's in my show. And so all of those. But that was Carr. And so he lost all of that. He had to start using nom de plumes to write. He had to start using created names in order to get jobs back in voice talent, because nobody in the Twin Cities would hire him. Why? Because somebody accused him of rape. So I was across the room and couldn't answer earlier, says Elderberry, and hell yeah, I had a lying BS Family Services investigation that the sheriff squashed. Wish we could sue. I don't know that they're really investigating us. It'll be interesting to see where this thing goes now. And there you go, Scott Allen. Thank you. A Bactrian. And we didn't use that term. So, oh man, it's after 10 o'clock. I've been talking about this the whole hour. So I'm unfazed. I'm unworried, mostly because it's not that bad things can't happen to good people. But I don't think anything's going to come of this. I really don't. She just said she'd be in touch and she'd be around for 60 days to monitor our case and yada yada. So, hell, they might even be listening tonight and heard some of the things I've said. Doesn't matter to me. I don't care, because we haven't done anything wrong. And that's not just bravado. That is, I know my wife and I know my family, and I know how we are, and I know how much we love our kids, and I know how much we are against abuse. When it got to them asking the kids, well, what do you guys do for activities and stuff? Oh, Mom takes us to the park all the time. Mom takes us rock picking in the summer. You remember that phase? The rock picking phase? Mom takes us, I can't remember where. We travel We travel with Dad and Mom. We do stuff. We have scouts and all of that. And so, yeah, nothing's going to come of it, Beth. I'm very confident of that. And I'm not saying any of this because I'm worried about it. I'm saying it because it made a good story to tell. I remember the rocks. Yeah, they found some cool rocks. They did. We used a lot of the bigger ones to landscape. I think we talked about that on Sunday. Rainey was talking about all her rocks. That when we move, that she's going to take all the big rocks out of the yard because we landscaped with them. And I go, you're going to pick up all those rocks and haul them somewhere? She goes, hell yeah, I picked them all. So there you go. Anyway, that's it. I wouldn't mind owning a camel. Maybe it could be a service animal. Yeah, I'm sorry. My camel gets to come into this restaurant. He's my daughter's service camel. I want a service rhinoceros. Excuse me? Yes? My rhinoceros needs to get through the door to get into the bar. I want to be able to bring my service rhinoceros. I can't function without my service rhinoceros. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, you don't have to be guilty these days, Leslie, to be guilty in the eyes of the public. Just ask Trump. Exactly it. Same thing that happened to my friend. Camel meat. I have had camel meat. I can't remember if it was tasty. I don't think it was bad, or I would have said, hey, that's bad. Can't eat that. I've had camel. One of the times I was in Egypt, I had camel. So I'm sure it was just fine. Tastes like chicken. So, camel tastes like bald eagle. All right, folks, guess what? We're going to wrap this up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me just tell a story tonight. I didn't see anybody else call in unless they dropped off. I just noticed there's nobody there. So when we throw that link up, you can call in. You can talk. You can say your piece, either about the topic we're talking about, or you can bring up your own topic if you want. And we'll do that on Friday. We'll see how it goes. Probably do it tomorrow, too. Who am I kidding? So, everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for taking time to come in, spend your time with me. Oh, you were going to, but the story didn't want to bother. All right. Jahir McKenzie. Nice to have you here. I didn't see you here earlier. Thanks for being here. You take care, too. And Barbie D and Doug Stack and Leslie Holker and Scott Allen and Master Finn and Roger Rabbit and, of course, Carly and Kinsey by proxy. Susie Q, good to see you. Glad you're here. Steve Clark, thanks for being here. If I missed anybody in here, Michelle Cadam Free. Love you too, Michelle. At the top of my I love you list. And who else we got? I don't see anybody else. I hope I didn't miss y'all. Anybody there. So, folks, like we say every night, hey, you know what? Live long and prosper. And this is a good thing. Yesterday was Leonard Nimoy's 90th birthday. It was just William Shatner's. Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, he invented this. That was not in the script. He invented that. He invented the nerve pinch as well. So, and this came, you know where he said this came from? You might remember this. I talked about this once before. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Remember, you know what this was? I can't do it as well with my right hand. I don't know why. But this was a Jewish prayer. Leonard Nimoy grew up Jewish. And the priest would do this when he'd pray. Shalom, and so that's what they would do. And that's where he got that from for Star Trek. So anyway, once more, guys, live long and prosper. Thanks for being here. I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you tomorrow. Boom. End show.